Hello and welcome. You are watching News 9 Live. I am Krishna Kumar, and at this hour we are discussing BJP's Kerala State President K Surendran, who has created quite a stir. Addressing a gathering at the Kerala Latin Catholic Association in Kochi on Sunday, Surendran said that Christians must realize who their real enemies are. He said that the Kerala Christian community must analyze the national and international situation properly, because many countries that are Christian today will become Islamic countries by the year 2040 or 2050. Let's first listen to what Surendran had to say.
കേരളത്തിലെ ക്രൈസ്തവ സമൂഹം ആഗോള സാഹചര്യങ്ങളും ദേശീയ സാഹചര്യങ്ങളും ശരിയായി വിലയിരുത്തി നിലപാട് സ്വീകരിക്കണമെന്നുള്ളതാണ്. ലോകത്ത് പല ക്രൈസ്തവ രാജ്യങ്ങളും ഇല്ലാതായിക്കൊണ്ടിരിക്കുകയാണ്. ഒരുപക്ഷെ 2040-ഉം 2050-ഉം ഒക്കെ ആകുമ്പോൾ ഇന്ന് അഭിമാനത്തോടുകൂടി നാം അവകാശപ്പെടുന്ന പല ക്രിസ്തീയ രാജ്യങ്ങളും ഇസ്ലാമിക് സ്റ്റേറ്റുകളായി മാറും എന്നുള്ള കാര്യത്തിൽ ഒരു സംശയവും നിങ്ങൾക്ക് വേണ്ട.
Right, now why exactly is Surendran saying that? Is it yet another polarization attempt by the Saffron Party to tap into the Christian vote bank in Kerala? To take that forward, I'm being joined by my colleague Bjp'S Abraham in the studio here. Bjp'S, talk to us, and give us the context as well. Why exactly is Surendran doing this? Because we've seen the BJP's so-called outreach, church outreach in Kerala of late.
Well, Krishna, if you look at the entire demographics of Kerala, it is a state where you have almost 50% Hindus, you have 18% of Christians and almost 23% of Muslims, and the rest, of course, who identify themselves as people who are non-religious and who have, in fact, some kind of social orders into which they believe in. But one of the most important things about Kerala is that if you have to crack the majority mark in Kerala, you have to understand that within the Hindu community, it is split between the Irvas as well as the Nayars. Now, the Nayars constitute around 13%, and the BJP has been having significant inroads in the Nayars community as well. Now, the Christians, among the Christians, out of the 65 lakh Christians in the 3.5 crore populations of Kerala, they constitute around 18%. And they are particularly targeting Christians in the Syrian Christian community. And recently, we do have the statement coming in from the Talisheri Archbishop Pamplani, who went ahead and said that any party that increases the price of rubber, now rubber is only one of the cash crops. Yes. We are talking about pepper, we are talking about rubber, we are talking about vanilla, and most of these community members, especially from the Catholic Syrian Christian community who belong to the Syro Malabar Church, are along the west, what we call as the Western Ghats, and they all have mostly plantations. And the value of these cash crops has been going downhill for quite some time because of certain policies of the centre as well as state government that has resulted in importing rubber as well as these spices. And this has led to the domestic market, in fact, not having that kind of an effort to fight this competition of this imported pepper as well as rubber, especially Malaysian rubber. So this has resulted in most of these cash crop farmers facing a lot of hardships. And we're talking about the Wayanad district, we're talking about Idukki, where there is a huge concentration of this. Now, when we speak about Surendran, Surendran has been in fact saying that the only way that the BJP will be able to find some kind of power in Kerala is to have the combination of Nayars as well as Christians, especially in the central Travancore region of Kerala and south Travancore regions of Kerala, to come together. And that is why they're looking at this combination, which they have tried and tested, like the Catholic as well as the Hindu combination that they had in Goa. So they know that they need the support of the Christian community.
Right. Just to ask you further, before we go to that, we have Lieutenant Commander Gokul now also joining us in the broadcast, Bjp'S, and we'll just come back to you as well. Lieutenant Commander Gokul, Surendran creating quite a stir by making this statement, but talk to us about what exactly is happening between the Christian community and the BJP in Kerala. Clearly, the BJP wanting the Syrian Christian vote for sure.
Yeah, good evening, guys. See, what Surendran and BJP is doing is pitting Christians versus Muslims. They want to create some trouble between the Christian community and the Muslim community and encash the votes of Christians. It is not by doing some development for the Christian areas, or giving some necessary benefits for the Christian people or the Christian community. But what they are doing here is they are frightening the Christian community, showing the Muslims as terrorists. They are taking the example of the European nation where the Muslims are taking over the nation by terrorism, and that is what those examples are what Mr. Surendran is quoting. Other than that, I would be very happy and it will be appreciated if Mr. Surendran can give some developmental outreach to the Christian community, telling that, see, we are ruling the center. Mr. Modi is the Prime Minister of this nation, and I will make sure, I will talk to Mr. Modi and make sure you will get the necessary benefits. Even as earlier speaker said, the cash crops, the MSP for rubber, they can do it just by talking to the central government. They can increase the MSP of the rubber and any other crops. But instead of telling all this, they are frightening the Christian community, showing the Muslim face. That's how they are going to garner votes. But here the case is.
But do you see that working, or do you see that backfiring? Because when it comes to things like the minimum support price and all that, they might be making the right moves. But do you think that this pitting, this kind of a comment from Surendran sort of does the polarization thing, which could backfire?
See, I don't think it is going to work because, see, unlike the other states, in Kerala, first of all, especially the Syrian Christians are well educated and they don't easily fall prey for such lucrative statements. The other thing is that let it be the LDF, let it be the UDF, they are standing together with the Christian community as good as the Muslim community. So the Communist Party and the Congress Party are taking them together, and so the Christian community doesn't have a fear of Muslims taking over them or Muslims attacking them, because the alternate state governments, which are being ruled by the Congress-led UDF or the CPM-led LDF, they are taking care of the Christians, as well as they are creating a good harmony between the Christian and Muslims. And so I don't think this cheap tricks of Mr. Surendran will ever work in
Fair
Kerala.
enough. But we've seen the signals come from the church as well. You had the Archbishop who said that, anybody who can give us the minimum support price, MSP for rubber, we should vote for them. If the BJP gives it to us, then we should vote for them. So clearly, the BJP being a pariah or an untouchable for the community has gone away clearly.
See, again, what the bishop has told is on the developmental lines. He has never said that only BJP can protect us from the Muslim community, only BJP can stop love jihad or whatever the BJP is claiming. It is not what the bishop has told. Again, I am saying, if they want to catch the votes of the general public of Kerala, other than the normal BJP RSS vote, they have to talk development. Even the bishop, what he said, give us development, give us better prices, maybe we will consider voting for you.
Well, Gokul, if I can just interject, one thing that I would like to ask is UDF had lost one of its most important constituents. You had the Kerala Congress led by the Mani group. I mean, that group had walked out of the UDF completely. And the reason why they walked off, of course, they were citing political reasons. But on the ground, it was a letter in the Chandrika by one of the most important Muslim League leaders who had in fact spoken in favor of Hagia Sophia being converted into a mosque in Turkey. Far away in Turkey this issue was. And he had in fact written a very provocative article in the Chandrika, and this in fact did affect the UDF's chances in the whole of the areas in Travancore as well as in central as well as in South Travancore, where people did vote for the LDF based on what the Muslim League letter in Chandrika was all about. In fact, the polarization in the last assembly election benefited the left, but the way it benefited was that it created polarization between the Muslims as well as the Christians in Kerala. We did have Kunjalakutti, in fact, trying to ensure that this did not become a huge rift. He tried to visit a lot of bishop houses, but there was a rift. Now, the question is whether the rift being there is being now exploited by the BJP on the ground to ensure that the Christian community does see some kind of a threat when it comes to the Muslim League, when it's in the UDF configuration. So now they are in fact trying to say that they want to in fact go ahead and probably try a party like the NDA or the union, the political entity like NDA, because they feel that they are under threat. And this has come from another bishop also. The Pala bishop, Kalarangat, has also made a statement on this. So it's not that the fear is going away. It is there, and probably we don't know how electorally these things could in fact go on the ground.
Yeah, see, first we'll talk about the Kerala Congress factions. See, the Kerala Congress didn't leave UDF because of that one reason. They wanted a reason to catch on. See, everyone, when they leave a political party or political friend, they will find some reason. See, this is why I am leaving. But the actual reason was Mr. Mani, Jose K. Mani, the junior Mani, he knows very well his father was ill-treated by CPM and LDF, and they called him corrupt and all such names. And still, over such one letter, do you believe that his Kerala Congress manufacturer will go with LDF? No, there are a lot of reasons, a lot of cases, and such things are there. That's why Jose K. Mani was forced to go with LDF. Other thing is that, see, even within NDA, there is a Kerala Congress, one of the factions were with the NDA for a long time. But still, they couldn't win the voters of Pathanamthitta and Idukki district, because this Kerala Congress faction, the Kerala Congress PC Thomas, his faction had a lot of clout among the farmers, because his main political journey was for the farmers and along with the farmers. But he was with the NDA, but still he couldn't get any votes for the NDA or the BJP. So any division, yeah, I totally agree that division more than BJP, the CPM this time during the 2021 elections, they played the division very well, because explicitly BJP did all this division, and without anybody knowing, CPM created these divisions between Muslims and Christians. Even the then CPM General Secretary, Mr. Vijay Raghavan, he had openly made some bizarre statements which would alienate Christians and Muslims. And so these Christians moved away from UDF and they voted for LDF this time. So I don't think anything will benefit. See, whenever there is a rift and fight between the communities or the religions or the parties, eventually it is either going to benefit the UDF or LDF.
Fair enough.
At
If I
present,
were to ask you,
just only with this polarization, I don't think BJP can get any benefit out of it.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Lieutenant Commander Gokul, the question that I'm asking is that which way is the wind blowing in terms of in Kerala, because of we're not talking about one incident or two incidents. We're talking about a general, as I said, BJP is not a pariah for the Christian community anymore. There's generally, if the BJP takes the developmental pitch, continues to take the developmental pitch, it still has a very good chance with the Christian community in Kerala, specifically the Syrian Christian community in Kerala.
Yeah, see, I totally agree, because if you move away from RSS, you have the tag of RSS-backed political party, and we know about RSS. What is believed about RSS is that it is a communal outfit which creates terror, which indulges in terror activities. That is what RSS is known about. And don't forget, even recently in Chhattisgarh, if I am right, a church was demolished by the same sister concern of RSS, and the Christians here are they read newspapers, they watch TV, and they know all this. In many places, the Christian churches are attacked by the BJP and the RSS and its sister concerns. The pastors, the missionaries all over India are being attacked by this RSS and their sister concern. And I don't think this Christian community of Kerala thinks differently, and they will go with a party which is backed by RSS. So they will alternate between LDF and UDF. That is what is going to happen. Maybe a very minor portion, maybe a percentage or two might shift towards BJP. Other than that, this moving without any developmental platform, they have to prove it. See, just it is not about speaking to them and giving them false promises. The best example I told is this churches asked for increase in MSP of rubber. Let the central government do it, and you and me, we know very well that the center at present can't do that due to various economic factors. And if they can do some developmental activities, then of course Kerala people will think differently. And if BJP can shed its communal color, then I don't think any reason why the Christians will not vote for BJP.
All right, right. Lieutenant Commander Gokul, just stay with us. I'm going to check with Varghese on something. Varghese, you just talk about only the Syrian Christian community. Talk to us about the Christian community in Kerala and how it's broken up in terms of Catholics and Syrian Christians and Protestants, and and in that sense, how is the BJP trying to target the Christian community?
Well, as I earlier said, it's around 18.43% is what the Christian community is in Kerala. In that, of course, the Latin Christian community in which today Surendran attended that meet, he spoke is around 12 lakhs. And the largest group among the Syrian Christians is from the Syro-Malabar Church. They are around 37 lakhs. And then you have two factions of the Malankara Syrian Church, in which you have the Orthodox and the Jacobites, which together would be around another only in Kerala would be around 15 to 16 lakhs. So it is quite varied as such. When you look at the Christian community as such, they're not a monolith. They're not a monolith as a population. But when it comes to voting, they do act as monoliths at times. So that is, and over here the factor has been that there's been an outreach going. Now this outreach is not for today or the upcoming elections. This outreach is going to be there for quite some time until they succeed in establishing some kind of hold on.
In that sense, is there enough discontent within the Christian community in terms of who they voted for? They voted for the LDF and the UDF in alternated terms. That's what I want to ask you, Lieutenant Commander Gokul. Is there enough discontent for them to want a third alternative? Because, for example, in the neighboring state of Tamil Nadu, they keep saying that the Dravidian parties, DMK and ADMK, we need a third alternative, we need a third alternative. We're yet to see the third alternative emerge.
Frankly speaking, the LDF and UDF are taking them along without much of complaints. Even when UDF is ruling, when the Christian community has some problem or issues, the LDF government, the next LDF government tries to solve it. Regarding this reservation for the Nadar community, Nadar Christians and all are being taken care by both this UDF and LDF. And I'll tell this also, that the Christian community in Kerala, they arm twist both LDF and UDF, telling that, okay, if you don't do this, we are going to vote for LDF. If you are not going to do this, we are going to vote for UDF. And so, as Mr. Varghese said, I agree to the numbers. But see, they cannot influence much of the assembly seats in Kerala.
Well,
because
I beg to differ on that, Gokul, because it is high. If that wasn't the case, that they were not able to influence the assembly seats in Kerala, you wouldn't have found LDF having a second term in Kerala, because we already know how the political structure in the state has been. It's always been left and right. Last time, it was precisely the votes from South Kerala and especially from Central Kerala that swung its quite decisively for the LDF. So you can't say that they don't have a say in the entire, when we look at the entire state of Kerala, especially Kottayam district has a huge population. You cannot disown that. Ernakulam district has a huge population. In fact, your entire UDF ministry was based from the number of leaders and MLAs you had were based from there. So from Ernakulam district. And already even in your opposition, there are at least 8 to 9 Christian MLAs coming from various denominations of the church. So you cannot say that they don't have an impact. It's that impact that led to the LDF coming to power again.
No, I didn't mean that actually. Sorry, Mr. Varghese, I didn't mean that. Actually, what I said was, I didn't put it rightly, I think. See, the BJP, for the BJP to win a MLA seat, they have to swing a lot of percentage of vote. See, the case of UDF and LDF, maybe if they can swing some 3-4% of vote on either side, they are going to win it. Not BJP. BJP will have around 6 to 7% of votes in a particular constituency. And for the Christians to make an impact and make BJP win, they have to swing around 20% of these votes towards their side.
Well, that is the thing
That's
about
what I
it,
meant
Krishna.
to say. That
in fact, what Gokul was also trying to say was that it might not be possible in the short term, where I was saying that the strategy of the BJP is long term. It is not a short term thing. Even if they are able to get one MLA seat, for that is the swing that they're looking at the beginning. Just start building slow. I mean, they are not looking at capturing power in the state. They're probably looking at having a presence in the state's assembly right now, because they know that the demographics are skewed against them. So they will have to, in fact, on a long-term strategy, look at which is the minority community they can, in fact, sway the votes in, and at the same time trying to find out whether they can break the monolith era votes, whether they can break, of course, they made inroads in the Nair votes. So there are communities in which they are trying to, in fact, make their inroads in. But as of now, they are not looking for capturing power in the state, but rather they are looking to, in fact, ensure that they can have a presence in the state assembly.
Right, and presence definitely amongst the Christian community because of what we've witnessed, the news developments with regards to the Christian community that we've seen in the recent past as well. The only question I wanted to ask before we let go of Lieutenant Commander Gokul is that, Lieutenant Commander Gokul, what do you think are the top priorities for the Christian community in Kerala at this stage? And where do you think the BJP stands? If I were to ask you like top issues, 1, 2, 3.
See, if you ask that, before that I would like to put up a point. See, what the church says and what the bishop says is not exactly what a normal Christian voter in Kerala thinks. Because the church, they will have a different agenda, but it might not be. So yeah, I agree that the bishops and church can sway the voters to an extent, but not completely. So as of now, the Christians as such, they don't have any special requirement. Whatever is requirement in Kerala for a general voter, let it be for a Hindu, but let it be for a Christian, let it be for a Muslim, that applies to all communities. Christians as such, they don't have any particular issue that needs to be solved today.
Fair enough.
Because the religious harmony, the churches, everything is being taken care well by the ruling state government, let be UDF or LDF. Their needs are being addressed, and maybe earlier we discussed about the rubber prices and all. See, rubber, it is not only Christians, even even other communities also.
Yeah, I was about to say, rubber is a commodity. It's not.
So they also have the same problem.
Yeah, fair enough. Varghese, would you say that, would you concur with that view that, like, there's no community-specific issue per se for the Christians in Kerala?
Well, see, it is very complex. I mean, it cannot be simply said that, this could be the issue. But right now, one of the issues, as Pamplani, the bishop, has in fact made is about cash crop prices. And of course, now as Gokul was saying, that some communities have started going ahead and cultivating rubber. But rubber is not the only thing. There is ginger, there's rubber, there is pepper. And traditionally, most of the people who have been engaged in this kind of cash crop agriculture are from the Christian community who are settled in the Western Ghat belt. And there is another issue to this also as well. You're talking about the Gadgil report as well as the Kasturi Rangan report, and how this could also have an impact on the community. So it is a very complex understanding. So there are times when these issues don't come to the forefront. The average Christian voter might not, in fact, take into account the call of the church. But when these issues are in the forefront, they might actually take and vote according to how the church wants them to vote.
All right, fair enough. Varghese Abraham, my colleague, joining us with that perspective, and of course, Lieutenant Commander Gokul joining us with his perspective, political analyst. Thank you so much, Lieutenant Commander Gokul, for being with us here on this discussion on News 9 Live. And thank you, Varghese, for being with us here in the studio. And with that, it's a wrap on this edition of News 9 Live. Thank you so much for watching. This is Krishna Kumar signing off.